story starts on February 6, 2020. Movie star Kirk Douglas's obituary appeared in the San Francisco Chronicle. In the obituary was a name I had not seen in 65 years, Mushy Callahan. That obituary described Kirk Douglas's first role as a movie star. In the 1949 movie Champion, he played an up-from-the-gutter boxer. Douglas was an excellent athlete, but had no experience boxing. The studio hired former welterweight world champion boxer Mushy Callahan to teach Douglas how to fight. Under Mushy's tutelage, Kirk Douglas became a convincing boxer, and he traded blows evenly with the professional fighters in the movie scenes. Going back a few years to 1954, I graduated from Stanford. I was dead broke, but I did have a job. I was a naval officer assigned to a destroyer. My ship would head for Asia after the new year, and my take-home pay was a meager $121 a month. I left behind my love, Marge. Everyone knew we would eventually marry, but she wouldn't graduate for another year. I wanted to propose to Marge before Thanksgiving so that she could enjoy the excitement of announcing her engagement early in her senior year, but I didn't have a ring. By October, I managed to save $750, far less than the cost of the 1-carat diamond I had in mind. In desperation, I consulted my future brother-in-law. He said, "I know the right guy, Mushy Callahan." He's an ex-boxer, but now he's a diamond dealer. Mushy hangs around the casinos in Las Vegas. He finds people who lost everything gambling and who are desperate enough to trade the diamonds on their fingers for enough cash to fly home from Vegas. Then he takes the diamonds to Hollywood, where he sells them to middle-aged men who are dating Hollywood stars. My ship was in Long Beach, and a couple of weeks later, I got the call setting the time and place for my rendezvous with Mushy Callahan. At dusk on a rundown industrial street corner in Long Beach, there was Mushy. He was a skinny 5 feet 6 inches tall. He smoked a roll-your-own cigarette. His face was pallid yellow. He wore an ancient zoot suit that had been to many places, but never to the cleaners. His hat brim was a foot wide. His jacket shoulders were wide and tapered to the waist. His pants were dimly checkered and tightly cuffed at his ankles. He was a character right out of a Damon Runyon story. He tossed his cigarette into the gutter, then shook my hand. He opened the warehouse door behind him, and we sat down at a table with a dark formica top. A single light bulb dangled from a long cord overhead. Mushy pulled a dozen little envelopes out of his pocket and dumped them on the tabletop. Next came a jeweler's loupe and a flashlight. One by one, he went through several of the envelopes and called out prices. It was apparent that my 1-carat diamond was out of the question. We finally got to the last envelope. That diamond was brilliant and it sparkled beautifully. I asked the price. Mushy said $825. I said, "Give me another look with the loupe." To my surprise, there on the base was a serious flaw. He grabbed the loupe and the diamond and said, "It's only a fly speck." He scratched the base of the diamond with his thumbnail and the spot disappeared. I told him $825 was out of my price range. Could he do it for $750? He replied, "Only because you're a friend of a friend." I handed him my entire fortune, and he handed me the little envelope. We shook on the deal. I never saw Mushy Callahan again. I knew there was a jewelry shop nearby. I rushed down the street and crashed through the door just as they were closing. I said, I want to insure a diamond. They weighed the contents of my envelope, measured it carefully, and checked the diffraction index. They said it was a 3/4 carat, blue-white, flawless, modern cut diamond, valued at $1,500. I proposed to Marge, and together we selected the setting. That ring lasted the first 30 years of our marriage. Marge got to select a successor. Mushy Callahan, wherever you are, Kirk Douglas and Terry Blaine wish you the best, and our thanks for your help when each of us really needed it. As a postscript to this story, my wife Marge and I celebrated our 69th wedding anniversary just a month ago.